Hey guys, Bitcoin Owen here. Yesterday I spoke about the Ukraine-Russia conflict basically and how it's going to influence Europe, the EU and monetary policy, the finances of the EU basically. And the governments are going to have to borrow this money to finance their defence expenditures basically, to fund the war. Finance their defence, as they call it. Basically, they're going to have to borrow money because they're taxed. People are taxed to the hilt in France and Germany and these places, and there's no desire there's no capacity there to pay any extra taxes, basically to fund the defence of the European Union. So the only other option then available to these governments is to issue bonds on the bond market and hope that people will buy their bonds basically. So the bonds basically will be issued and the European Central Bank will be the buyer of these bonds. So that's how it's going to work. Bond buying basically will be back in vogue, and quantitative easing. It was quantitative easing basically to stimulate the economy to try and do something about their very poor growth figures. It won't be called bond buying, I'd say, or quantitative easing this time around. It'll be just called war bonds is what they'll be called basically, and they'll be trying to get people to worry about the defence of the EU, make it a national imperative, a very nationalistic kind of a thing to buy French and German bonds. So that they can manufacture and pay soldiers basically and come up with all these defences that they need to have to defend themselves against the EU. It's an absolute mess, and there's no consensus there on what to do about Russian aggression towards the West. Each country has its own policy, each country has its own issues and its own history, so there's no consensus there on what to do. The coalition of the willing are meeting in London today with Zelensky. Zelensky was shaking hands with Starmer in the news this evening. So if every country adopted Bitcoin, there would be no more war, basically. But that's a very sunshiny kind of a perspective. And the first country to adopt Bitcoin was El Salvador, but they've backtracked on that now. If you'd like to see more videos like this, guys, like, share and subscribe.